What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story time for y'all about gambling in the lunchroom back in my time in middle school. I figured it would be a story time y'all would enjoy. But before we get into it, be sure to press the like button. Otherwise, no joke, no scam, you're going to be cursed by a very angry witch. And without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm getting quiet now. Lay low when you reach zone, pipe down. Make an house, take the breath.
Alright, I want to open this up by saying I definitely was not the smartest person in middle school. I wasn't the smartest person for a very long time. In fact, I would venture out and say I am not the smartest person today. There's a lot of people out there that are a lot smarter than me. That being said, one thing that I would do in middle school that was especially stupid was eat gross stuff because I thought that it was funny. You know, I just got a big kick out of making people laugh, so if I could, put mayo in a chocolate milk, shake it up, and drink it, and everybody would laugh, I thought it was worth doing it. And I shouldn't have done it, it was pretty gross, but I thought it was funny at the time, and I would do it every now and then at lunch, and it slowly started to, catch on, and some of the other kids that were willing to do anything to make people laugh started to, eat gross stuff too, and naturally, whenever you do something and other people start to do it, it becomes a little bit of a competition. And, slowly but surely, a mayo and a chocolate milk became all of the sauces we had available at lunch in a chocolate milk. Or, all right, go buy a cheese stick and then put it on this guy's shoe and then eat it. Just stupid stuff, dude. It's really embarrassing to admit. This is not a story I'm necessarily proud of, all right? That being said, it became a little bit of a competition. And when it became a competition, I also started to make a little bit of money doing it because we would bet on it, people would be like, I will give you $5 if you eat this because I don't think that you're gonna eat it. And naturally, I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. I just don't really get grossed out by eating things. So, I started to make good money. All I would have to do was drink a milk with hot sauce in it. I'd make $10. It was pretty chill. That being said, we had to keep it very, very low-key because, betting on stuff and having money swirling around in school was definitely not allowed, and we were aware of that. This wasn't a situation where we thought we were doing nothing wrong. We all knew that, betting on this, doing this would be frowned upon and we could get in trouble, so we would hide it as much as humanly possible. And we would do it as often as we can, get together, eat gross stuff, bet on it, because it was just fun, it was entertaining. But obviously, we knew that, we weren't supposed to be betting on anything, especially during lunch. There was this one really mean lunch aide, and she did not play, dude. She was a little bloodhound for, sniffing out stuff that was not supposed to be happening. You could start thinking of doing a prank in the lunchroom, and she would walk up to you and be like, you're thinking about doing something stupid, don't do it. She had magic powers. Anyways, one day, we had, started betting at our lunch table about who would eat what. We went up, got milk, got all the sauces, and then we had gone into this one bathroom on this side of the lunchroom that nobody was in to, put sauces in the milk and eat and, do the gross food challenge. And obviously, there had been money on the ground. Everybody had been kind of betting a bit. And we had a guy outside that acted as a lookout. And if somebody was coming in, he was just going to bang on the wall a lot. And one of my friends had just drank a gross milk. And one of my friends had just had to cram a bunch of cherries in his mouth. And we start hearing this signal that the teacher is coming. There's this banging on the wall. So obviously, we start trying to hide everything. We start, throwing stuff in the trash. We start trying to pick up the money, but it kind of gets kicked away. So there's just money all over the ground. And one of my friends literally has 50 cherries in his mouth. 50 is probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but his challenge had been to literally just jam cherries into his mouth until it was uncomfortable. And so the door swings open, and sure enough, it's this teacher that has a reputation for, knowing when something's going on. And she's coming into the boys' bathroom. She's here to, she's not playing games. She knows we're up to some stupid stuff. And she comes in, she goes, what are you guys doing in here? And all she sees is us, with milk, looking suspicious as shit, and a bunch of money all over the ground. There's just money everywhere. And obviously, we're up to no good. And my friend with all the cherries in his mouth has turned, so his back is to her, and he's not looking at her. And he just happens to be, the only person in the room who's not looking at her and giving her eye contact right now. And she really doesn't like that because obviously she thinks he's doing it in a disrespectful way, and he's just trying to hold it together because he has 50 cherries in his mouth. So she grabs his shoulder and turns him around and grabs his other shoulder and goes, what is going on? And she shakes him a little. and we start laughing, and when we laugh, it triggers him to laugh. And when he laughs, these cherries just start flying out of his mouth like a machine gun. And listen, I'm going to rank this up there as one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, dude, because I've never seen anything like it since, and I've never seen anything like it before. I don't know if it's the laugh or like the shape of his mouth, dude, but these cherries are literally flying out like one after another, like, and they're just literally going in a straight beam. It looked like something that Chip and Dale would do in an old Disney cartoon. And like I said, they've been sitting in his mouth for a bit, so like, you know, they're wet, they're pretty gross, and they are smacking into her face. She had grabbed his shoulder and turned around to make eye contact with him. So as these cherries are flying out of his mouth, they start smacking her in the face. And obviously, anyone that's getting smacked in the face with like these kind of half-chewed, saliva-covered cherries is going to instantly have a disgusting reaction, because that's disgusting. I don't think anyone in their right mind would ever want to be covered in that. You know, no offense to my friend, but I think the last thing I would ever want is to be covered with anyone's saliva, period, especially a stranger, you know, like that's just, no thank you. But it freaks her out so much that she goes to puke. So she lets go of him and runs into the stall to puke, right? And so she's in there, we hear her puking, and we're all looking at each other, and we're like, let's go. So we are like starting to scramble around. Some people just run out. I decide that, like, you know, I had drank my milk. I know how much money I had to make, so I'm gonna grab my money. So I'm looking around. I'm trying to grab it off the floor. Everybody else is just scrambling out the door. Like, it was one of those doors that kind of swung, and so I'm hearing just like whoosh, 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 whoosh as the door is swinging back and forth. And I finally, you know, I'm scrambling around. I grab all the money that I won, and I'm like, all right, let's go. So I dip out, and we obviously all don't go back to one lunch table. Everybody like took off anything very distinguishing that they had on them, and we just kind of split up, right? And I end up with the money that I had won, obviously, back at one of the tables where the kid with the cherries in his mouth was, and there was another kid that had been in there drinking a milk, and we were kind of together, and so like we were kind of just talking about what had gone down. We were keeping our voices down, trying to lay low, obviously, and you know, we're just kind of like laughing and being scared at the same time. And finally, we see the teacher come out of the bathroom. She had puked. She must have gotten it all out after getting smacked in the face with some saliva-soaked cherries, right? And we see her go up to the guy who has the microphone, and they're talking, and she's obviously very upset. She's pretty heated. And the guy on the microphone is looking at her like she's saying something that he doesn't really understand, but he nods his head, and finally he gets up on the microphone and he's like, all right, whichever kids were just in the bathroom gambling, you know, you need to come up here and turn yourselves in. We're gonna find out who you are, so turn yourselves in. And, you know, like, obviously we're kind of sitting there trying to decide what to do because they're obviously talking to us. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you look at your screen now, you'll see an Xbox gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every video I post to say thanks to y'all for subscribing and turning on notifications. So, if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on notifications. I really appreciate it. And if you already do, you're a G. I'll shut up and get back to the video now. Thanks, and enjoy. And I don't know how stupid they thought we are, because it doesn't take us long to come to the conclusion that we're not going to snitch on ourselves. If we got away with it and you're going up and having to make an announcement that's like, all right, guys, we know who you are, but come tell us who you are, then you don't know who we are. You know what I mean? Because if you did, you would just come tap me on the shoulder and be like, you were just gambling. So anyways, I'm at this table, and I look at my friend who had the cherries in his mouth, and he had this beanie that he would wear every day, dude. Like, it was like a cartoon character thing to him. And I'm like, you need to get rid of that beanie, because she saw you with the beanie on when you spit the cherries at her. So if you keep wearing that, she's gonna realize it's you. And he's like, no, bro, she's not gonna remember me. And I'm like, dude, you just spit cherries in her face and made her puke at school. I guarantee you she's gonna remember who you are. So if you don't get rid of that beanie, then like this entire thing's gonna fall apart. So he finally reluctantly is like, fine, I'm gonna throw away the beanie, but you know, I don't really want to, but I'm like, you need to. So he goes and throws away the beanie. And sure enough, thank gosh he did it, because she starts looking for us like there's no tomorrow over the next few days, dude. She's like walking up in between tables, asking random kids that just kind of look like they would have been involved, like if they were involved. She's asking our teachers to start asking us questions. Our entire little group at lunch like stopped sitting together for a very long time, and it genuinely felt like I was like having to lay low because of just some stupid trying to drink milk with like mayo in it. But I was scared at the time. Like, in retrospect, it was stupid. Like, who cares, really? But at the time, man, I'm like, bro, if I have to explain to my parents what I was doing, then, like, I'm gonna look like an idiot. No, Dad, you don't understand. They were paying me to eat the disgusting food, right? But thankfully, by, like, the grace of Grayskull, dude, nobody opens their mouths. And this is why it's an important thing to only do stupid stuff with people that you trust, dude. Because if there would have been any kid that's mom would have been like, you need to do the right thing and admit that you're the kid that spit cherries at the teacher, we were all going down. We were all getting in trouble for gambling about eating gross food. But sure enough, a part of that came with, like, not getting in trouble for it and not really ending up in the dean's office having to explain myself, was the fact that we didn't get to gamble ever again, which was actually pretty sad. That sounds like I was probably developing a problem and it's for the best, but like, it was just doing something dumb with your friends. It wasn't like we were trying to be harmful. We were just like, oh, all right, dude, you won't eat a cheese stick with marinara sauce and bean dip. Like, it was just, we were just being dumb, but we definitely didn't want to push it and get in any more trouble. I feel like once you make a teacher puke, it's kind of just the child equivalent of like spitting on a cop. They're just gonna try to find ways to get you in trouble. Like, that teacher, if given the opportunity to crack down on our gambling ring, probably would have made sure we got expelled, because, I'm sure she did not enjoy the memory of saliva-covered cherries smacking her in the face and then puking. Maybe that's just me thinking. I guess I don't really know too much about exactly what the thought process was, but I will say I still do think about that from time to time, only because I really have never seen anything like it. Like, he got grabbed and literally did the thing from a cartoon where he's just like, pew, 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 pew. It was absolutely incredible to watch, dude. And listen, I know it's gross. I know people are like, dude, it was spit-covered cherries. You don't understand, man. It was like a little machine gun, and the noise it made, like, but like more consistently, less of a fart, more of like a I'm doing my best out here, guys. And what's really wild is the kid that swallowed all the cherries and like did that situation did end up going to be a sword swallower. Like, that's what he does now. He's a performer, and that's part of his act. So, if you're obsessed with fitting 50 cherries in your mouth and want to be a sword swallower, don't give up on your dreams. That's the moral of the story. I'm not saying that your dream should be being a sword swallower, all right? There's also nothing wrong with that, like, good for him. He chased his dreams, but definitely a very Las Vegas thing to have a friend you grow up with going on to be a sword swallower. But hey, like I said, never give up on your dreams. Don't let your memes be dreams. You never know when cherries turn into swords and then you're a professional, okay? Regardless, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really, really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. If you don't know what to comment, go ahead and comment the word cherries down below. It just helps the video do better, and I'd really, really appreciate it. Other than that, if you want to help me out more, I will put a link to the intro song in the description, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast. Or if you really want to help me out, you can get yourself some G Fuel and use code SCRUBBY at the checkout. You'll get a discount, and it helps me out. Everyone's a winner. I got two more things I gotta plug. Number one, the Karen Christmas sweater is available once again. If you guys want to get this, I'll put this near the top of the description. And I did go ahead and put some of my story times up on Spotify for you guys to listen to. That link will be at the top of the description, so feel free to go check that out. If you're traveling, need them offline, anything like that, there you go. Put them on there, and there'll be more coming soon. And yeah, as I've said, on that note, guys, that'll do it for the video. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I will see each and every single one of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.